Hello and welcome back to Visit Fylde Coast. I'm on a bit of a funny angle, aren't I? I was trying to show you the tower in the background, but it's right up there. Just a minute. Just a minute, let's give it a twiddle. Is that better? That's better. Now I need to jump. I've got my camera resting on a light fitted on Blackpool seafront. Nothing if not inventive. Now I look tiny. Which perfectly illustrates the subject of what is going to be this video, because this video is all about making videos and whether or not it's worth it. My face is going stiff, it's so cold. And be see if I can get the tower in the background without chopping my head off. Look, it's there, look, can you see it? Anyway, back to the subject in hand. So loads of people will kind of assume that if you do YouTube and if you make vlogs, that it's like falling off a log. It's absolutely not a problem at all. It takes no time, it's really easy, and all people do is just point a camera, film, and away you go. You've cracked it, you've made millions. If only it were that simple. So, if you've been with us a long time, you'll know that I literally fell into making vlogs by accident. Because of the pandemic, I'd already been publishing websites online and social media and newsletters and all that kind of stuff. And then the pandemic started, so people couldn't actually come to the seaside and couldn't actually enjoy what I was living right at the side of, and felt so sorry for you lot. So that was how I ended up starting making videos in the first place. So I've written one or two really impressive YouTubers down here. So Ed Sheeran has got 43 million subscribers. Now I don't know what you think to Ed Sheeran, but 43 million subscribers is a lot of subscribers. PewDiePie, and I bet most of you have never even heard of him, has got 108 million subscribers. And Dan TDM has got 24.3 million subscribers. Dan TDM has got a waxwork in Madame Tussauds. Now I'm a little bit of a way off getting a waxwork in Madame Tussauds. But there are billions of videos on YouTube. I'm not sure how many are uploaded every second, but a lot. 35.6 million of UK adults use it, which is 35% of the UK population actively uses YouTube. So it's a huge thing. And if you can crack it, if you can get a really big subscriber base, you're laughing, because you really can make good money. But the rest of us just tick along. And personally, I do it because I enjoy showing, I don't know, I suppose it's the teacher in me. I enjoy showing people what there is and shouting about all the great people and the great places and the great events and all the great stuff that there is here, because I love it so much. And it's just become an extension of everything else that I do, because I've got 8 websites, I've got thousands of pages of online content about different things and different places and attractions and events and all kinds of stuff. So literally this just becomes an extension of that. But it's not easy, believe me. So I thought I'd just give you some things to think about. So number one for me, bearing in mind my middle name is Calamity Jane, number one for me is making sure that I don't trip up or get knocked down. And if you've watched enough videos, you'll know that I've tripped up a fair few times. And that you need to walk where you need to walk, not into somebody or around somebody. And at the same time, you've got to make sure that you've actually got the camera pointing at what you're trying to film. So that's number one. Number two is remembering what you're trying to say. So you've probably seen me with these little bits of cardboard. So I just jot. I'm useless with a script. Absolutely awful with a script. So I just jot down some salient points, and then I can make sure that I've picked everything up that I actually wanted to say. But remembering what you want to say is difficult, and you need a good memory, and you need to do your research before you set off. Next one, hold the camera still. We've all watched these videos where the camera's going like that, and as they're walking along you feel every bounce in the pavement. And the modern cameras that have got image stabilisation will cure a lot of that. But even still, you still need to be smooth with your camera actions, or you're going to have all your audience gipping. Be creative with shots. This is not a very creative video, and I do not aim to be Steven Spielberg, and I haven't got the time or, frankly, the ability to be Steven Spielberg. But it's interesting to just break things up with a different perspective and a different way of looking at things. Don't forget to press record. That might seem really obvious, but you'd be amazed how many times I've prattled on at great length and then discovered when I've got back to Rabbit Towers that I haven't actually pressed record, and it's so annoying. And getting my left and my right mixed up, I do tend to, there's a button for levelling the gimbal on the camera, and there's a button for record. There's two buttons. So me being me, I keep pressing the wrong one for the wrong thing. So I actually filmed a full hotel review and then realised I hadn't filmed the full hotel review at all. And then the other thing that I find most difficult is ignore people watching you. So I'm doing this on the prom and there's somebody walking past me right on cue as I'm saying this. And I can feel them looking at me and wondering what on earth I'm doing. And I find it really off-putting, and I find it really difficult just ignoring people around me. Especially when they shout, "Oh, look, she's doing a video." And then, when all that's done, you've got to go back. So what time is it now? Let's have a look. It's 3:20, so I've got to drive back to Cleveland's. I've not finished my jobs yet. I've got to drive back to Cleveland's, and then when I get back to Cleveland's, I've got to download all the footage I filmed this afternoon. I need to sort it out, get rid of the rubbish that needs to go in the bin, and then I need to edit and process everything together that I filmed. And then when all that's done, I've got to upload it all to YouTube. So that's another however many hours you want to add on top, depending on what mode the internet's in. And then on top of that, you've got to know what you're covering before you go out and research it and do your reading and your looking up. You've got to make sure that all your kit's charged. This was a steep learning curve because I kept forgetting this. Because before I've been using my iPhone, which I use the kind of camera and the microphone all in one. But because this is separate to that and they're not fastened together, I've got to remember that. And then the next thing that you need to try and find is a fine day, which is easier said than done, especially at this time of year when it's the middle of winter and it's cold and it's freezing. So there you go. If you think YouTube's a doddle and you think that you could make millions, crack on. Because for everyone, it's like everything in life. There's a lot of hard work required, and there's a big slice of luck and being in the right place at the right time. So if you're going to be one of these people that's got millions and millions of subscribers, you're going to be in a minority. You're going to be in a minority. But for the rest of us, it's good fun. And we get to meet loads of people. And we get to go to things that you won't otherwise get to go to. And I get to walk about at 3:30 on a Thursday afternoon in the freezing cold in Blackpool, feeling like I'm going to turn to ice. So there you go. I thought that would be just a little bit of an amusing video. Just to have a little bit of a laugh on a Thursday afternoon. So if you've enjoyed that, give this a thumbs up, give it a like, and don't forget to sign up for your Visit Fylde Coast email newsletter, which you can get at visitfyldecoast.info/newsletter, because as I said, this is but a tiny little part of what I do in a normal working week. So until later, I will see you next time. Bye for now.